This Korean Life.
Welcome back to another episode of This Korean Life, number 141, featuring Ting Hu. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Just to continue there. Yeah, I saw you for the last 2 weeks. You've been at baseball practice, and I told Tony, I'm like, man, she looks a little bit old for a middle school student. You know, she's like a fully grown lady. And then come to find out, you're a PhD candidate at Auckland U, studying something that we're interested in, and that kind of affects us as well. How long?
Actually, I've been there in the baseball team for like 3 or 4 months.
Ah, okay.
You were not there at the time.
Yes. We just started.
What do you do there?
Play baseball.
You're just playing?
Yeah.
Just cranking homers. How's your knee? I saw yesterday you twisted your knee a little bit. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think so. And the coach was very kind, and he drove me to the pharmacy and bought me some medicine.
Yeah, good.
I think I'm recovering well.
He's a good guy. Oh, she smashed a line drive, and it scooted to first, but I think you might have stepped on the first baseman's foot.
Yeah.
And
how did you get involved with the baseball team?
That's a long story.
Take it from the beginning.
Okay.
No.
Because, I came to Korea for my data collection. I came here to do interviews with multicultural families, adolescents, and teachers. So at the very beginning, when I came here, actually it was my second time to be in Korea. So I just know several teachers here because 3 years ago I taught Chinese as a native speaker teacher in a school here in Ulsan, and that's why I started this topic. And so when I came to Ulsan again this time, I don't know a lot of access to this multicultural community, so I need to find a lot. So that's why I tried.
Smart. Good, that's a good way.
From bottom up, right? Not just to.
So you didn't like baseball. That was just the in to all the parents.
I didn't know baseball anymore before that.
Yeah.
Because baseball is not very popular in New Zealand or in China. I think it's just popular here in Korea, in Japan, in America. So after that, I get to know baseball, and I think, oh, that's a really cool game, and the rules is very interesting, different from other board games.
Creative approach to data collection.
Yeah, and that is also very helpful for me to get to know the community, to get to know people here. And I'm also kind of multicultural person here.
Explain that. Or as in, you're native Chinese, but...
Yeah, I'm originally from China,
Yes.
and I grew up in China for 22 years. And when I was doing my master's degree, because I majored in teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages for both my undergraduate and master's degree. So when I was at the age of 23, I joined a program which is called CPIK, Chinese Program in Korea. If you know English program in Korea, you may also know this. This is another.
Like EPIC.
Yeah.
You know EPIC, right?
Yeah.
I was a CPIC teacher.
Ah, cool.
And I joined this program, and I was assigned to the city Ulsan. Actually, at the very beginning, I wanna go to Seoul.
Sure.
I was assigned to Ulsan, and I know that I was the only teacher assigned to Ulsan, because for other cities there were a lot of 2 or 3 teachers at least, but for Ulsan I was alone, and it was my first time abroad. First time overseas.
Yeah. Oh. Wow, very cool.
So
you were teaching in elementary or middle or high school?
High school.
In high school. So okay.
What school were you at? Hyundai?
I need to name it.
No, I'm just curious how they pick when they did English, they put teachers in every single school.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious what are they, Coca-Cola, Mashita, this school, you get a Chinese teacher, or it makes sense if it was if you were at Hyundai, but that wouldn't make sense if
I
it's
think they cooperated with each other for many years. So every year, for each year, one Chinese native speaker teacher will be assigned to this school.
Okay. And the parents usually get very aggressive with why do they get this chance and we don't, and people sometimes will move schools just to get that benefit, whether it's the soccer team or gymnastics facilities or Chinese teacher, but other parents complain, why don't we get that? Why is it only in that school? So that's why English had to go to every school.
Yeah.
Because there's just way too much fighting otherwise, and the
You know,
inequality.
there were
stuff.
like four more English native speaker teacher in that school, but only
Oh, wow.
one Chinese
Chinese.
teacher.
Huh.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's 30,000 foreigners here right now, or
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
because I mean, narrowly for the multicultural, for this word meaning, 大文化 in Hangugo.
yes.
Yeah, narrowly it means a child with two heritages.
Yeah.
And as I know from the last 10 years to at least 2023, the Chinese mixed heritage group is the biggest one.
Yeah,
You know
so
about-
there's 20,000, I believe, ethnic Chinese in Ulsan. And then once they're married, and what that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
creates
yeah.
the multicultural
Yeah.
children. So yeah, they're huge. I mean,
Huge.
by far, we do a lot of things in the city and a lot of programs and stuff, but the Chinese kind of have their own community because they're big enough to self-sustain.
Large
They don't need
population.
lots of help because they have each other that are
Yeah,
all
yeah.
integrated very well.
That's a powerful community.
But like the Canadians, what maybe we're like 10 people, or like, so we're forced to integrate more with different nationalities, with the Koreans more. But the Chinese have that kind of self-sustained ecosystem where they have that huge support
Yeah.
network. So
Yeah, 30,000 people. It's half of my hometown.
yeah, there's a lot.
You know, were languages always something that fascinated you? What put you in the direction of studying language or language acquisition or teaching?
Actually, now I'm not doing language education, but before I did it because I thought it was very interesting to teach language to someone who didn't speak my language. So for about 7 years, I majored in teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages. But after that, after I came to Ulsan and taught Chinese in a school, I found that language education, language speaking, language acquisition is not just only about grammar, vocabulary.
What?
It's not
What are you
only
talking about?
textbook. It's not only about classroom, right?
Everyone here
Yeah.
disagrees.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's also more about your sense of belonging, sense of identity, and motivation.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is where your PhD is headed, correct?
Yeah, at that time, because it was my first time overseas, and my Korean language was not good at that time, and I feel like I needed a lot of help, and I also lack a sense of belonging here. But I found there were many mixed heritage Korean Chinese children in my class, and they were so sweet. They helped me a lot, helped me to explain Chinese culture, languages to other students.
Yeah.
And I also observed them struggling with navigating their identities and languages among home, schools, communities, different places, and that's why I want to help them. So I searched a lot of articles, and I found that there is a gap here, and I think I can do it. So that's why I applied for the PhD.
So you were teaching Chinese to foreigners in China before you came here?
Before, I have no gap year, so maybe for some part-time job online.
But did I hear you correctly
Yeah.
that you were teaching Chinese to second language learners in China, and then you came here in the
I just
secret
majored in this major, but I don't have much experience before. But as part-time job, online something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What were some of the challenges when you got into teaching? What were some of the challenges you observed or faced?
Teaching Chinese. That's
Like what? But you realized, like, I never thought about grammar. You just you did it in primary school. I didn't think much about it. But then I came to Korea and everything was about grammar, and I was like, I don't know grammar. And I was like, holy shit! Like, why do they want grammar? They think I'm good at it because I'm from Canada. I don't. I realized, like, what are they? I didn't think that was so important. That more, I think just naturally we focus more on communication rather than the accuracy. And I had, a few epiphanies that, I realized I should learn the grammar because I don't remember. It just happened. And I had to learn grammar to teach them or to meet them on their level.
You need to learn the grammar of English to do
so. Because I didn't know, and I think that's why it's better that Koreans teach them grammar, because Koreans have learned it, they know how they learn it, and they know how to explain it.
How to explain
My answer
grammar.
is 그냥. The same reason when I ask them about Korean grammar, and they say 그냥. And I'm like, so I need an English speaker to teach me
They think
grammar.
it happens naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So did you have any of these when you started to teach Chinese that were like, wow?
Because I've majored in this teaching Chinese to speakers of other languages. I've learned how to teach grammar, vocabulary, and I've learned what are the grammar of Chinese language for several years. So that may not be a problem for me.
When you're teaching English, you'd start with like the alphabet song and learning the letters. Where do you start with Chinese? Is it the basic characters?
Basic characters? I may say no. For the first time, it should be pinyin, the pronunciation of also alphabets. You know, for pinyin, we use alphabets to pronunciate in Chinese. So for the first class, I will teach them how to use these alphabets to pronounce Chinese words.
Okay.
And then step by step, I will teach them Chinese characters with grammar, vocabulary, other things.
Very cool.
You, Mandarin is tonal?
Mandarin?
Yes, is tonal. There's 4 tones or 6 tones?
Yeah, 4 tones.
4. So I can hear it when I hear Vietnamese, Thai, Chinese. You can hear the tonal languages, but I think when I teach English, hear English, communicate in English, there's many accents. But is it really funny listening to foreigners speak Chinese? Because it's not just, it wouldn't be just the accent, it'd be the accent and the tones that are, and those are tones that to Latin language speakers are so foreign to us. Maybe, I don't know, is it easier for a Vietnamese or a Thai person to learn Chinese because they're familiar with the tonal aspect?
I'm not very familiar with this area, but I think for personally, yes, because in the south part of China, the accents and dialects there are to some kind of similar to the languages of Vietnamese, Thailand. So for people who are already familiar with tones, because for the same pronunciation with different tones, it means different things. It makes sense. For them, they know it from the very beginning. But for the foreigners, maybe whose native language is English, then you are not familiar with tones. So I have to tell you that tones make sense. Like I will tell my students for the sound wen and wen. Wen means ask. If you said, teacher, I wanna wen you, it means teacher, I wanna ask you. But if you said wen, it means kiss.
That's the same in my
Teacher, I want to win you.
Teacher, I want to kiss you. Don't do that thing. Yeah, I will tell my students like that.
I won't forget that word now.
That's so funny, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's why it must be so much more and that's why I think many of us don't even consider trying, because it just looks like it's going to make my head explode looking at it and listening to it. But so when you listen to foreigners speak, when I listen to foreigners speak English, I grew up. Canada is very multicultural. I heard lots of accents. My mother, my grandmother, everybody has an accent. But for you to hear random foreigners speak Chinese, is it really funny? Like, there must be a lot more mistakes. It must be really, really significantly more different than me listening to people try and speak English.
Am I funny when I speak in English?
No, but that's what I mean. Like, but I heard all those Englishes growing up.
Yeah.
But in China, I mean, I think Korea, China, Japan, they're not that multicultural as Canada, America, lots of Europe is, where we hear so many, even French. Like, I hear lots of different Frenches in Canada. But for Chinese, is it similar or different?
I don't know what other people may think, but for myself, at the very beginning, I feel like strange because I came to New Zealand. That's the first English-dominated country I went to. And when I heard New Zealand accents, sometimes I couldn't understand it. I still can remember one time that I was on a call and I asked, "Oh, when will you arrive?" And the person said, 15 minutes. And I asked, 50 or 15? And he said again, 5 or 10. Do you know? What does it mean?
5 or 10?
5 or 10.
Oh, 5 or 10. Oh, 5 or 10. 5 or 10.
Yeah, so to some degree, you have to get used to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we like don't feel bad. We have problems with those. Irish, Scottish, English, even in Canada, Far East Canada.
Oh, different
compared
accents?
to sure, and different everything, different culture.
Yeah,
It's a different way of living.
I understand it. Yeah.
And if you were to compare like New York to Louisiana to California, very, very different.
Very
sure.
different. Yeah.
What do you think? Have you ever seen the YouTubers, the Western, like American or Canadian guys who speak Chinese? Have you seen those guys? Though I don't know what the online platform is, but like I think you're randomly matched with someone, and the white guy matches with a Chinese girl, and he's like, "Hey, how are you?" Blah 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 blah, and she's like, "Whoa, where did you learn that?" And he's have you seen those guys before?
Yeah, I know what you are talking about. I think.
Are they fluent? I can't pick up if they're.
That's
fluent
what.
or
Yeah,
not.
I see those clips once in a while too, and I wonder the same thing. How good are they really?
Yeah.
Because when I go to Canada, if I speak Korean to my kids, they're like, "Wow, he's really good." But if you ask my wife, she's like, "He doesn't know anything."
For me, I don't think accent really counts that much. As long as you can understand each other.
Communication.
Because everyone, you can communicate. It's okay. Everyone has accent.
Sure. You learned English in school growing up?
Yeah.
Was it as intense of classes as it is here? Is it taught the same way? Is it based on grammar and vocabulary tests?
And for the high scores. So when I was in Korea, I started to learn English for IELTS because I want to apply for the PhD in New Zealand. And then my score of speaking is quite low, but luckily I got the score which can allow me to get into the university.
Nice.
Totally.
Good.
And after I got to New Zealand, I learned more from daily communication, and then I think my ability of communication skills, my English speaking skills just got great progress.
Yeah.
After that.
That's my recommendation for every parent who wants to send their kids to Hagwons. I go, just send them to Philippines for 6 months. Give them that solid base and then build on that.
Really counts.
Sure.
I work at university, and the students, a lot of them need TOEIC scores to graduate or to get a job, one or the other. And I often say to them, like, you need that score in 4th year, but you're only in 2nd year, 3rd year, 1st year. It's easier to just relax and have fun with your English for 2 or 3 years and get your base level up so that you don't have to study so much when you get to 4th year with that stress. The way they study here is study for the test, take the test, forget everything. Next 6 months later, study the same stuff and forget it. Study the same, so they're just wasting their time. But I say, you watch Netflix, pick up 1 or 2 shows related to your major, watch them 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes 3 times a week. Watch Sung Min play on the American channel, not the Korean channel. Go to a cafe where there's foreigners that hang out. Get a part-time job where foreigners visit. Go to the programs for university international students. They have like buddy programs, and come to the English clinic a few times a week. You have to surround yourself with that environment. It can't just be only when you need it or only for summer vacation, because that's that up, down, up, down. And when they start thinking like, do you want to study TOEIC for 4 years and hate English because it's this book this big? Or how about enjoy for 3 years, your base level's way up, and then you only have to study a little bit in 4th year. So
But I don't think they even want to study English necessarily. They're not passionate about language or anything. It's just they want to study to get the score. It's the same with every.
Language is frequently seen as a kind of capital.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's what I also, one of my first questions is, why are you here? Why do you want English? Why are you studying? Why do you want to learn it? Well, I might go to America in 5 years and I want to know how to speak English then. But what if your mom goes to America now? How do we do it? Papa go. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going for 8 days. You don't need to study your whole life for 8 days in America. Like, what's a real reason? I said the other day, there with the gun on your head.
To communicate with people.
If I give you $1 million, if you can have a 10-minute conversation by September, you'll do it because you want $1 million.
Yeah.
But if it's for traveling to America in 10 years, it's not a strong enough reason. There's no real reason to learn, so you won't. You need to have that push.
Yeah, the motivation.
The motivation, yeah. So I find it really hard when they have no motivation. They think they do, but it's usually kunyang.
So I think motivations might be a central part of your research, right? Can you explain currently what your PhD is going to be about? What you want to study, what you're doing here, and what kind of information you hope to bring back?
My PhD topic focused on mixed heritage Korean Chinese adolescents and their families. And I looked at their multilingualism, identity construction, how they navigate different languages in different places with different people, and how do they feel, and what are their challenges, and what we can do to help them.
Very nice. Are you familiar with the book, The Paper Menagerie?
No.
No. It's a short story, and I don't know if I just listened to the audiobook, or my wife might have had the audiobook on. This is just within the last few months anyways. Just popped into my head knowing that we were going to have this interview today. And it's about, similar to what you're studying, there was a mom who immigrated from China to America. And the story is about the relationship between her and her son. From when he's young, she would fold the origami and he loved it, and then as he grew older, he kind of pushed his mom away. He wanted to be more American, and it shows kind of the racism and stuff that he endures, and he doesn't want to learn the language. He's kind of embarrassed by mom and his Asian looks and stuff like that. When you're studying kids in Ulsan who are half Korean and half Chinese, the big thing with Paper Menagerie was he's a visible minority. You can see the Asian characteristics in his face. Here, the kids aren't
invisible.
Yeah, or they're not, or they're not visible minorities. Yeah, they look like Asian kids. What are the big not problems, but what are the hang-ups here? What are the kids experiencing? Are they embracing their Chinese heritage? Are they, from what you've gathered so far?
Actually, as we know, that identity is dynamic. Yeah, it's not fixed. It's fluent. So in different circumstances and with different people, you can sometimes can disguise your identity by using another languages. And with the appearance and many things. So for these children, they can also activate their agency to get accepted by a group or another, or language socialization. That means for the newcomers, they wanna get into the core of the circle, get into the target group. So that means they have to step into the circle. But in this process, sometimes they have to get rid of many things like their heritage languages and some of their identities. They have to erase it. So they may feel some pains. And they may step in or step out or just be between the two sides or at some of the position, find their position, or it's just fluent and dynamic.
Yeah, okay.
So I think the really important point is that we should allow them to stop here or stop that. They can position themselves here or that. They can be assimilate it if they want, or they can just be themselves with their heritage languages, speaking their languages from their mothers. It's okay. So whatever identities they want to use, they want to have, it's all right. We should just embrace them.
I agree. Sorry, you're talking about specifically. I think what you're referring to is the Korean Chinese kids. You said they have to shed some of their characteristics to fully integrate
into the target group.
To fully integrate into a Korean group.
Yeah, to be fully Korean.
But as we mentioned before, with the massive population of Chinese people here, wouldn't they want to keep some of those to also be a part of their?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But sometimes the mothers want, but the children don't want because. When the children, if the children just live at home, it's okay because the children just get in touch with parents. But if the children get into the society, then the peers, community, teachers, and many other peoples will also influence their thoughts. So after that, if the struggle, if the structure of the society doesn't allow diversity, then the peers may feel like strange to hear someone speaking other languages, Chinese, Vietnamese, and then the child may feel embarrassed. So that may be one important reason that after the child go back to home, they may not want to speak Chinese anymore with mother.
I asked yesterday about the motivation for the kids speaking Chinese, other than communicating with mom. Have you identified any other motivations for learning the language? Like, do some of them want to move back to China? Other than communication with mom, is there any other reason? That seems, I mean, obviously you want to be able to talk to your mom, and if she only speaks one language. Oh, sorry, another question. Do the moms speak Korean and?
For some mothers, they can speak Korean, but for some, their Korean is not that good.
Okay. So primarily they would converse in Chinese. But other than that, it's, I don't know if there's, how do you keep
I went through a lot of case studies when I was doing my master's, and it was about these immigrant families in America and how the parents don't speak the language. The kids start to identify as American. Once they've been there for whatever 3, 4, 5 years, they only speak English, and then it's like their parents become unnecessary. They can't talk with the teachers, they can't talk with the administrators, they can't really help them in a lot of direct or superficial ways. It has to be like through translators, or can you translate, or we need a special person, and it's almost like they lose a lot of their power, authority, responsibility as parents because they can't communicate. And the kids then think like it's almost kichana to go home and have to speak with mom and dad. My whole life is this, like, no, only you guys do this, and it's not. So that came up time and time again in the studies that I went through of parents kind of losing their position, their role for the lack of ability to communicate, and that the students kind of increased responsibility and their feeling of value because they could do something their parents couldn't. And I think I kind of feel that with my kids a little bit sometimes. They're like, "Daddy, your Korean is not good enough," and I'm like, "It is, but don't test me, please."
Yeah, that's why I'm training you guys.
Is it only Korean Chinese kids that you're working with?
For
studying?
me, yes, because for Korean Chinese, there are also many different kinds of groups.
Yes.
Like, there are 56 ethnic groups in China. So here there are Hanzhou and Zhouxianzhou, which is ethnic Han Chinese and ethnic Korean Chinese. And also I found other ethnic groups here.
Yes.
That's very interesting because they are also with their own heritage languages or cultures, as well as Chinese, Mandarin Chinese.
Yes.
Yeah, that's complex.
Oh, hold on. So we've grouped 20,000 Chinese into one group, but they're fractioned into their own little.
Sure.
That was just one big group in my head there for a bit. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah.
I mean, but same as Canadians. I mean, if you said Korea is not a good example because it's probably one kind of Canadian that comes here as teachers, engineers, students. But if you took it in Canada, sure, there's a lot of different groups of Canadians. One question I had was, I'm just really curious, and I see it for all the multicultural stuff that our kids do, the names. I think the name must be a huge part of their identity. And as far as I can tell, most Chinese have Korean names. Do they also have Chinese names, or is it almost always exclusively a Korean name?
Or is the Korean name is connected to the Chinese character?
Hanza.
Yeah.
Because all the Korean words can be put
Into
you
Chinese.
can into Chinese characters. So
they
of course they can have. They have
But your name is Ting Hu, and is there a standard amount of syllables, as we would say, for Chinese names?
You're wondering about how I translate my Chinese name into Korean?
No, because Koreans are 99% of them are 3 syllables. Pak Jae-won, Kim Min-ji, right? It's the odd time you get 2 or 4. Is Chinese similar to that? Where like in English, your name can be any amount of syllables.
There are hundreds of surnames in Chinese, family names.
But I mean, for that one where you can...
But the dads...
If your name was in Korean, Ting Hu, then they know you're a Weikokin. It's automatic, right? So my kids, and we have a little bit different approach. Mine are, on paper, Mendigo Gina Kim and Mendigo Lena Kim. And we thought about it a lot, that Kim is my wife's name. Kim is Kimberly in Canada. If they were going to get made fun of, it's not a weird middle name to have Kim. It's short for Kimberly. In Korea, they could be Kim Jina, Kim Lina. In Canada, they can be whatever the heck they want. If it's Gina Mandigo or Gina Kim Mandigo or whatever. But I thought about the Shimbajang. If it says Mendigo Gina Kim, it's an extra siren for them saying, look at that, that's her shoes. Everywhere we go, they're Gina Kim or Kim Jina, Kim Lina. When we go to the hospital and they say, Mendigo Gina Kim, the whole hospital stops and goes, ooh, where's that person? But 6 months ago, one of them came home and said, Dad, I don't like you. And I said, why? Because why isn't my name Kim? Speaking about identity. And I said, your name is Kim. No, it's Mendigo. And I said, so what? Because the boys say, hey, Mendigo Gina Kim. When they want to bug her or they're angry or she makes them frustrated, then they say her Mendigo Gina, and they think that, and it bugs her. Then she come home and say, why is my name Mendigo? And I said, well, that's your name. Is that your biggest problem at school? Is people call you by your name? I said, listen, you got a great life, because that's not a big problem. So for us, the name, is it Gerlameto Tony, Gerlameto Mia?
Yeah.
So, and what do they call him at school? I mean, other than Tony and Mia, is it always Gerlameto Tony?
Yeah. Well, the Chuseok, they got 3 lines on their thing. Giro Lameto Tony, Giro Lameto Mia.
So the name is, for us, is very obvious. So I'm just wondering, in Chinese, if Chinese people also use typically 3 characters, then it would fit very smoothly into Korean culture.
No,
But
but
if
dude,
they're-
the dad's, I think 90%, the dad is Korean.
Yes.
So they use Kim, something, something,
Yeah,
and
so
then
the
2
family
Chinese
is
characters.
From the father.
But
Yeah.
but again, if it's Kim Christopher,
Yeah.
then it would. So I mean, are the kids' names strictly Korean, or do the mums have any influence to make their names kind of Chinese, or are most of them all 3 syllables? I find that they are.
In my case, most of them, the name are totally Korean, but for some cases, although the name is in Korean, but it has the meaning in Chinese.
Yeah.
Meaningful meaning.
So in terms of identity, our kids are, as soon as you see them on the Chuseok Bu or wherever, kids are Weikokin. But when my daughter says there's 3 Chinese kids in my class, and I said, oh, which ones are they? Because I can't tell by looking, and I can't tell by their names. Our kids, you can usually tell 1 by looking and 2 by their names. It's very quick, and then I think there's judgments that are associated with that.
I think you should you got to put the kids right in the fire when they're young. Like let them cook and understand that you're not Korean. That's my philosophy. You're not. you're half Korean. You're different, and the sooner you accept that, we've talked about this in
Okay, but hold on.
stuff
So,
before.
but hold
Yeah.
on. If your kids were in Canada, would you tell them they're not Canadian?
What do you mean?
If they're not Korean here.
Well, they're not. I mean, not full Korean. They're half, man. And
I tell my kids they're full Korean and full Canadian.
Well, we're just listen, you're not. But then you're boiling their whole person down to their ethnicity, which is not their.
No. But when someone says, "Hey, you're ban," and I'm like, "That's crazy. You're not ban." They feel like they're not this and they're not. Because I think the identity part is I'm not Korean and I'm not Canadian. What the hell am I? I tell them you are Korean.
You're both,
and you are Canadian, but you're not ban, half and half. I think it's
we're going back to
there is a similar name called half in Japanese. Because in Japan there are also lots of mixed heritage individuals here, and they are called half, which is in English half.
Yeah.
And in Korean, the name for multicultural children is 다문화, which is multicultural. And 20 years ago, we started to use this name, especially narrowly for this group of people, mixed heritage. But now, as I know that Korean people and Korean government and the scholars, they are going to know that there are already so many labels and stigmatization, so many things, deficit terms with this special term, 다문화. So they are going to change this name. I've already observed many scholars and government officers using the term 이주백경. Do you know this term? New term.
Well, slowly.
이주백경, which means people with immigrant background.
Jesus, we're just playing a stupid fucking game here.
To use different words to replace.
We're just shuffling the bullshit
but in
terms
terms of
around.
identity, it is like when you're in Canada, like because Canada's only 160 years old, 150 years old. Like most people's growing up, all my friends' grandparents didn't come from Canada. They all immigrated. So we just know that. Like we know that we're born in Canada, but that our ancestors are all from different places. So when someone says, where are your parents from or whatever, it's not offensive. It's not that my parents are Italian, my parents are Greek, my parents are German, my parents are Chinese. And we we're proud of that. The World Cup is on. If Canada's not playing, we wear Italian jerseys. And they say, but you're not Italian. Yeah, but my ancestors were. And my ancestors were Polish and mine were Czech, and people are proud of that.
Yeah, proud of that.
But in Korea, in the monocultures like here, it's, there isn't that.
Yeah, because before the country was homogeneous, made by just homogeneous culture, like one blood, one culture, and one language.
Yeah,
but that's also recent, because before the wars, Korea was very. When they do their test to see how Korean they are, they're always shocked to find out they're not Korean. They're 20% Chinese, 15% Mongol, and 4% Japanese.
For everyone in the world, like this.
Right, yeah.
So
but they were, the narrative was, uri, we are Korean, one blood, one people, one. But that was only the last 100 years. Before that, it was very, Genghis Khan's got his imprint all over Korea.
So instead of tiptoeing around and being so sensitive about our...
Because, for different countries, they have different histories of wars.
Yeah.
Or like the environment are different, the landscape different, population different. So for every country, I think, and especially for China and Korea, we've experienced wars before. So I think for Korean, it's very important for them to recognize and identify a unit. As
a unit,
as a unit.
For sure, for sure. What is how? I don't know the question. How do the Chinese Korean kids view their heritage? Is it embarrassing to, like, in a school setting, if the teacher's like, hey, who's Damuna? Are they open to being like, yo, my mom's Chinese? Oh, my... Are they?
Anybody says who's Damuna?
No, I'm saying, like, are they embarrassed of their ancestry, or?
It's very complex. As I know, there is not only one case. There are
Depends on the person.
Yeah.
I think going forward, man, why don't we just make our kids the first generation to not... First of all, your identity is not everything. You're like Gina's a soccer player, a hockey player. She's a student, a daughter, a big sister.
Yeah.
She's not just Canadian in Korea. We've talked about this before. Why? Like,
but here it's because they make such a big deal out of it, right?
But we're also
wiggle.
Sure, but we're also reacting to it. And if you just go, like, if you just, and kind of what I try and teach my kids, and I don't know how well it's working, but we'll know in a few years. We'll see how it goes. But we just tell them, like, yeah, you're different. It's something. Yeah. This is how it is. You're not. There's no need to change your name. There's no need to tiptoe around it. I mean, and even what constitutes a Korean? I think we could argue that we're more Korean than an ethnic Korean living in the States, who's fully integrated into American.
I could argue that I'm more Korean than some of my university students.
Well, think about the
They don't travel. They spent the last 7 years studying in a cubicle. They've never been around. They haven't seen the political changes, the landscape changes. They haven't seen the evolution of Korea the last 25 years. I think, apart from being able to study and memorize history or whatever, in terms of actual being here, I think I could be more Korean than lots of them.
Being here, cultural practices.
I can cook more than them.
Cooking all the food. There's a lot of things that constitute your identity, man. And I think we could argue strongly that we're, it sounds funny, but more Korean than most people. So anyways, going forward, I think we should just teach the kids. It's being different it's not bad. It is. It is just we gotta get over it. But
I think that's the Korean society that has to decide to get over it.
It's changing now,
absolutely.
but still in the process.
But I don't think, like, for us, and in Canada, I'm not saying, of course, there's racism, discrimination in Canada, but it's a very different one than here because they don't have the base of the monoculture to start with.
Yeah. But I think as well, as you mentioned in the past, it was for them to be one unit was integral to their success and continuation.
But now I think you've seen the deterioration of that, where now they don't want to get married, they want to live abroad, they all travel abroad for leisure at young ages now, which never used to happen. The young people are much more global and accepting. Students every day, I want to meet foreigners, I want to make foreign friends, how do I do this? And now when you have this deterioration of the basic society of marriage and making kids, there's nothing left. Like it's going down very, very quickly because there's nothing to sustain it. And they're becoming a multicultural society before their eyes, and they don't even realize it. That now how many Peda people are foreigners with a mask and a hat, and they don't even notice because they speak Korean. Oh, how many construction workers and laborers are all... And one child, they don't want them to do those jobs.
Great contribution to the country.
Yeah. And now it's our job to build, that image of foreigners are diverse. They come from different places, speak different languages, different religion, do different jobs, but we all contribute. Yeah. And that's going to make a new Korea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Going forward.
The Chinese families that you're in contact with, are they primarily single kid, like one child homes, two?
It depends.
I figured that's gonna be the answer. Yeah, we got.
And some they don't have kids and they don't want.
Really?
Surprised?
Yeah, no, not surprised, but not surprised. That's interesting.
What are some of the biggest challenges, identity challenges that these adolescents face? From how far along in your research are you, or data collection?
Data collection, just in the stage of data collection.
Okay. How far along are you?
5 months.
Okay, so you have a substantive amount of.
Yeah, but I haven't got a deep insight from all the analysis,
Right.
but I haven't started it.
Okay.
How did you collect data? Is it interviews?
Interviews and some multimodal tasks like drawing or multimodal diaries and digital ethnographic and interviews with parents, teachers, and I also do observation.
Okay.
What are some of the most surprising insights you've gained from doing this collection?
If I really want to talk about this, I think I can begin a lesson. It should be a workshop.
Yeah. What are some of the?
And I think the first insight is that access doesn't mean trust. Yes, you can get access bottom up into the community, and you are here now. You can get in touch with people. You can get to know each other. You can communicate. But it doesn't mean that people trust you and they really wanna tell you something.
Share their true
so
feelings,
it
information.
really takes time for you to get in touch with people, and it's also very important for you to also do some contribution to the community because
Swings.
you don't and for
I hit a
also
double.
do volunteer works in other places in our multicultural communities. I think it's very important that we, as a researcher doing this field, we shouldn't just drag data from people. We should. It's research, but it should be reciprocal and long-term and sustainable. And it's very important for you to build up a good relationship with the community.
I like that approach.
If
and,
you
and
want-
that you said gaining access isn't trust.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Like I think something that we have that like maybe my students don't, trust. We built relationships over 20 years here. And I have a lot better insights, I think, than my students who have relationships with their parents and their best friends. But not anybody in the community and no stakeholders in the city, just their friends, that's it. You said, I was gonna ask, in terms of this trust, I think in Korea, if I were to do research like this or in the multicultural community, a lot of people would say like, I'm not interested or privacy or like you say, you gotta
I'm
build
too
that trust.
busy.
Is the Chinese culture when you talk to the moms, is it like, yes, I'll do it. Is it just like you say, like, do you feel like you finish interviews and you're like, that was useless. She didn't really answer my question. She just.
Before that, what's your pitch? How do you approach the parents?
I have lots of accesses, and even to get into the one family, I need different accesses sometimes because I found that it's difficult to get both the adolescents and the parents to engage in my program at the same time because sometimes they can't communicate with each other. They can't persuade each other for adolescents and parents.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you also interview the Korean fathers?
No.
No? I'd be curious to hear the Korean fathers' take on. I think we're pretty proud of our kids.
How do you identify? How to give definition to Korean father? Because there are also ethnic Korean Chinese fathers, and sometimes they identify themselves as Korean.
Hold on, one more time. They're ethnic Korean Chinese.
Korean Chinese. Know there is Joseonjo, right? Sometimes they think they're just
Chinese.
Korean,
Can you explain Joseonjo for anyone listening? That's
Chinese born in.
Like 200 years ago, in the 18th century, because of the wars, because of many things, that a large migration from the Korean peninsula, they went to China and they live there. But hundreds of years later, after China and Korea built up relationships since 1992, then large amount of returnees happen, and this group in China is officially recognized as Joseonjo as one of the 56 ethnic groups in China, and now as in Korea, they are recognized as tombo. Their visas and many things are different from other ethnic groups from China. They are not totally seen as tomboy. For many Koreans, they feel like a sense of in between.
Again, this identity thing.
Yeah, identity.
And this is the thing. We can say just take all the line or whatever barriers down, but in the end, it's not. And they're not original, real Korean, and they're not real Chinese.
But that's okay. How about that?
No,
That's,
100%. 100%. But like this, I want to go back to my motherland. But okay, you have to go through these things because you're not this and you're not.
Yeah,
this.
but you're not. You're not. It's like you going back to Italy.
But it's about saying everybody's okay, whatever. But then people say like the Gyopo's coming, and they come to Korea and they're like, I want to go back to Korea and see like where my mother or my grandma's from. And they're like, fuck Korea. Korea hates me and I can't speak Korean, but I'm Korean. But they don't think I'm Korean, and then it creates these barriers again. That we're trying to say, okay, forget it. We're all cool. Yeah, we're all cool until.
But it's the same. If you're
until people put you in a box.
Yeah.
Create those divides.
But
those divides are everywhere.
It'd be weird if you were like 7th generation Canadian, and then suddenly you want to go back to Italy. Like if your great grandpa was Italian, then you go back, you're like, accept me. You're like, bro, you're a little.
But the Gyopo's coming
different.
here or not, they're one generation removed, maybe two.
Yeah.
And you see it. Some of them embrace this heritage in America and say like, hey, I'm the Korean American guy and I can be the bridge between our cultures. And the Koreans say, hey, listen to my channel. He's not really Korean. He doesn't really know Korea.
Yeah.
He's pretending to know Korea. He's Californian. And it's the same going the other way. The Korean guy says, hey, I'm Korean. Or I'm American. Listen to my story about America. He's not America. He's Korean. I'll show you the real America. So we create these divides every day in our society. So it's hard to just break everything down and say, hey, we're all cool, everybody love each other, we're all normal. And
I'm not saying for other people to accept it. I'm saying for you to be cool with it and expect some shit. Because we're going to draw lines in the sand as soon as you fix this, it's going to be the next. It's going to be curly hair, straight hair, or beautiful hair like me. We're going to draw lines anywhere. I'm just saying when you go down that path, in the end, you be cool with yourself. And I think parents should be teaching. It's okay to be half Chinese. It's okay to learn the language. It's okay to have a different name.
Who you are.
So back to my question about in our country's homelands now, you can choose anything. Yeah. You can choose to be a cat if you want. And you can choose anything. But again, like we say, you can choose anything. Okay, now they've taken that way too far, and now people choose to identify as anything under the sun. Anyways, back to my question. I wasn't thinking about ethnic Chinese or whatever fathers. I was just thinking about if they've been introduced to you as a Chinese Korean couple or family or multicultural or mixed ethnicity family, what the fathers are like. Because one, if they're Korean, or I don't know what the Han Chinese father's like, or the Joseon father's like. But for us, I think we carry a lot of our culture into our relationship, where I think we similarly do a lot of cooking, cleaning. But if it was a traditional Korean father, maybe that's not there yet. And maybe it's more the Korean family kind of relationship.
Because of the patriarchal tradition.
So I think we're very proud of our kids, and we take them out. And he organizes the soccer team. I organize the hockey team. We organize volunteer opportunities. We bring our kids and try and make them proud of being both. That whatever that you think you are, you are. Yeah. That's fine. But I don't know.
Just not a cat.
Don't be a cat.
Don't be a cat.
So I wonder, my question about the Korean fathers would be interesting is, I wonder if they would say on a survey that they're really proud of their multicultural children or mixed heritage children, or if sometimes they're shy, or
just some personal connection. I won't say what it's we'll say a non-visible minority, and the one local parent has told the mom and the kids, like, we're all Korean. Just don't worry about don't worry about the language. Just no, seriously, like you're the mom's.
It's a spectrum. It's all
mom's Korean's fluent. Like you'd never know that she's not Korean. But They're very strong. Like anyone at school asks, like, hey, you're just Korean. Don't worry about mom. Which is weird. That's everyone's got their own thing, and you can do what you like. But I don't think we should just be eliminating the other half of your identity. We got to embrace that, man.
It's a natural study for us watching our kids, and I wonder, like, do they ever? How much do they think about it? And this is what I was studying before too. But how much do they think about it, and do they notice when they code switch and say an English word by accident? They go, oh, I'm blowing my cover. I'm showing them I'm not just Korean. I said an English word in the middle of my sentence. Or that, usually when they start a new group, now everybody knows them. But the first few years at school, I think a lot of people didn't know that they're multicultural. They might look different, but they speak fluent Korean, so people don't know. But then when dad goes to school, and they're like, and they say, hey, Dad, oh, I'm so happy you came, or whatever. And they're like, your dad's a Weikokian. And they're like, my kid's like, oh shit, like I thought you knew. Like, I thought everybody knows my dad's a Weikokian. Like, nobody knew? Shit, is that weird? Should I be? And I'm at their school quite a bit, and I do some funny stuff, and they say, wow, big guy. I say, yeah, I'm the Canadian Sheedham champion, and they're like, oh. And they ask for your autograph and all that. I don't know if that makes my kids feel weird or embarrassed but I think it's better that I show up at school and that everybody knows than to hide at home and people guess and talk and whisper, and everyone knows Gina's dad's that big guy who comes by the school, and whatever. It is what it is. But
it depends on who you are, because you are people from Canada.
Yes.
So
you mentioned about the hierarchy the other day.
Yes, absolutely.
From China, from Vietnam, from other countries.
Absolutely.
Things are different.
Yeah, I agree. And how they're perceived by Koreans is very different.
Yeah.
And again, we say they talk about white privilege in Canada, America, whatever, and we often reflect and think how much privilege we have here just because of where we're from. And if our skin color was different and we still said we're from Canada, we're perceived completely differently. Mm-hmm. If I was Mexican Canadian or Filipino Canadian, and maybe you have 5 generations of family in Canada that are Filipino Canadian, you're more Canadian than my family is. But that doesn't matter. It's not how you're perceived here. And yeah, absolutely, it makes a huge difference.
You gave a talk recently about reshaping schools for inclusive education. Can you explain a little bit about your talk and maybe the goals you hope to achieve, or the seeds you want to plant here?
My talk was about methodology. It was about reflexivity in field work, and because I was still in the stage of data collection in field, so I just shared my thoughts about how to keep reflecting on our identities and how we see the world, how we do the research as a researcher or teach as an educator in a multicultural context in Korea. And I think it really matters because we come from different cultures, so we see the world from different angles, and we understand these things from different backgrounds. That's really different, and also people may have different thoughts about you. You need to know how others perceive you, and because of these differences, people may tell you different things. Like for me, because I also come from China, I know I'm a young woman from China, and sometimes, I look like a student. Yes, I'm a student.
Yeah.
I look like
I thought you were middle school for the past 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
So although I'm a PhD candidate.
Yeah.
So for the
13?
For the Chinese migrant mothers here, they think I'm too young to do the research sometimes. So, and this maybe I'm not that authentic or have much authority to do the research, kind of like that. So I know people may perceive me like this. And at the same time, I have my identity for myself. But to do the research in fields, I have to be like a researcher, be professional in front of the parents and students. So this is the reflexivity, how it works for me. And because I'm from the same background as many of the mothers, so it may be to some extent easier for me to get the access to communicate with them in Chinese. But if I am a person from other country, I'm from Canada or some other countries from New Zealand, they may have different perception of me and tell me different things.
Sure.
And that is how reflexivity works in field, and we have to know that so that we can, like doing the puzzle, you have this piece and I have that piece. It's very important to have people, to have researchers and educators from different backgrounds, and to get to know the world from different angles. And yeah.
Very cool. What do you, are you looking to implement or to suggest change in the current Korean education system to make it more inclusive? Is that the idea? Are you making suggestions for policy change?
I will, and I hope I could, because that is why I came here and that is why I started this program. But as I'm still in a very early stage of my research, I have to go back to New Zealand for another 2 years to look at my data and see what I can do. And read a lot of things, write a lot of things. So I can't give the detailed suggestion now, but I hope in the future I could.
What are you thinking so far?
Okay, just for the big direction I feel now in the field. I think it's really important to give an inclusive environment for children to think, just like you said, it's okay to be a cat. So it's all right to use your language from your mother, your heritage language. You don't need to be ashamed about it to speak Chinese in public. And it's all right for you to use your heritage language or choose not to use it because it's your language rights. And it's your identity rights. You can use it or not use it, and no matter you use or not use, it's all right. I think that's the big direction of the whole thing.
Are there many Koreans also studying in this field? Or is it a new emergent field, or is there a lot of research being done in Korea? Do you know?
Of course, there are lots of research done before in Korea and in language of Korean, but for my field, especially for the social linguistics area for Korean Chinese, mixed heritage individuals, this is a huge gap.
You're getting funding from Chinese government and Korean government, is that right?
I would say my PhD study in New Zealand is supported by my school, a joint scholarship of my school and Chinese Scholarship Council. That's for my PhD study in New Zealand. And for in Korea, I've got funding, the field work fellowship from Korea Foundation. That's for this 5 months data collection field work.
Very cool.
How would you categorize or classify this field of study in China? Because also in China there are people from many countries living.
This would be a quite emergent field in China, I would say.
And how would you describe China's approach to this?
Because from the very beginning of our construction of this country, there are already 56 ethnic groups at that time, and China officially recognized and acknowledged that. So the country is
So is the education approach and the mixed heritage topic, is it, do they feel like they are very multicultural and that we're so different already, we're not all the same? We kind of maybe are the same, but we're not the same, or?
because I haven't done this kind of research and I don't know
But I mean,
a lot
growing up or being in China, when there's Russian,
China
Chinese and Mongolian Chinese and Kazakh Chinese.
Yeah. You know, China is big, and I grew up in a big city near Shanghai, and in the eastern part of China. When I grew up, there are not many ethnic minority groups, so I didn't know about them. Yeah. But I know in other parts of China, like the northeastern part of China or the south part of China, there are lots of minority ethnic groups there.
Are there, in your research, are there any countries that you've come across that you feel their education system is doing inclusion?
Like New Zealand?
I guess they would.
You know,
they're getting it right.
Many years ago, the Maori language is not supported a lot in New Zealand, and at that time, English was at the top of the hierarchy, language hierarchy. So when kids were at school, their teachers didn't allow them to use Maori languages or other indigenous languages like Samoan or others. If the child used their home languages at school, they may be beaten on their ass by the teachers.
Sure.
And the people think that's a good way for them to learn English, because by this way they could create a whole English environment for these children so that they can learn English better. But it's not good for indigenous people, because they have their own heritage languages, they have their own heritage culture, and they should be proud of that, and they should keep that, right? So afterwards, the things are step by step getting better. So now there are also many researchers, social activists doing things to support Maori languages and other ethnic languages in New Zealand. Now New Zealand is quite a big, diverse country, I would say. There are also many migrants from Asia there, and we can see many supportive methods there, but it's still on the way. On the way.
I was there recently, last winter, 6 months ago maybe, and I was impressed with. Well, I don't know if impressed is the right word, but we also have lots of Aboriginal people in Canada, and we have a bit of a wild, bumpy, crazy history with the Aboriginals, as well as Australia, New Zealand, and many countries do. I think America kind of, in a couple words, America kind of like pushes it to the side or shuts it out. Canada's kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We're trying to recognize, we're trying to show that we care. There's so many policies and government things, but many people are divided on how it's executed. In New Zealand, it's like they promote it, and the Maori tours and the people with tattoos on their face aren't just crazy people. These are our the Aboriginal people of the land, and we should be proud of that. And so much of the tourism is linked and related to the Maoris and the land and their way of living, their way of cooking, etc. Where Australia, I don't feel that at all. Like there's none of it. It's more reminds me of more like Canada, where it's kind of in the background. It's a program running in the background, but it's not. In New Zealand, it's in the forefront, and they get the haka for the All Blacks. It's world famous, but Canada doesn't have anything like that. Why not? I'm not saying we need a dance for our sports team, but the way they kind of project it and promote it is much more kind of inclusive and being proud of it, where we have stuff like that, but it's still kind of running in the background. So
changing though, we got the Orange Day.
But so much of it, but that feels more like a
knee jerk,
conciliatory. Here, we're doing this for you. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
And in New Zealand now they have lots of the Maori schools that are only Maori you can send your kids to, and Maori is also mandatory in public school, I believe. So in that way, I found like they were years ahead of where Canada is in accepting and being like, hey, this is us. You can't
on the way.
You can't avoid it. You can't go around it. This is us. Where I think in Canada, we're still a long ways away. It's coming, but it's coming very slowly. The recognition and everything. And there's a lot of debate about the policy and the way the method and the route they've taken. So I found that, and we went from 2 weeks in New Zealand to 2 weeks in Australia, and it was very obvious. I mean, very obvious the differences. So yeah, I would agree. New Zealand is probably a leader in the area.
It's a great country.
Yeah. Back to the one just before. You said you could run a workshop or a seminar on it. Any big insights? Could you, just in a sentence or two or a few words, like what are 2 or 3 things that have stood out for you?
You want to know more?
No, but we didn't. We got sidetracked into 5 other things off on a tangent. But if you could give us 2 or 3 things that, maybe surprised you or shocked you or you didn't consider, is there just in a couple words or sentences? Is there a few things that would come to mind?
Because I'm still a PhD candidate, and this is my first time in fieldwork. So I found that everything is different from what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to make the decision at the moment.
Sure.
Because before, when I have to make a decision, I just consult my supervisors. Tell me what should I do.
Yeah.
I wrote emails to them and I waited for their response. But now I have to make every decisions at the special moment, like when the parents asking me, "Oh, what my child told you? Tell me. Otherwise, I won't tell you what I think." So
ethically, should you tell them?
Wow.
Does it jeopardize the data?
Because sometimes they think their children may have some problems at school, but the children are not telling them. And sometimes
which is very common, right?
Yeah,
which is very common.
Sometimes these are real problems that to some extent we may think that parents should know, but for the children these are their secrets. So what should I do? Oh, where are my supervisors? I need you.
Yeah. So that's a great one.
That's many moments.
That's great.
Every day, hundreds of.
What do you do in that situation? Do you tell the parents if they're holding it?
I can't tell you.
But this is it in America too now, where they say like if the kid goes to the doctor and says, "I'm a boy, but I want to be a girl. I want hormones to transition." In some states, they have to tell the parents. In other states, they don't tell the parents.
It depends.
And if you're a teacher in Canada, even in Korea now, if you see bruises or anything, like my wife's a teacher, if you see bruises or anything, you have to report that. In Canada is the same. If you think you suspect any abuse from the parents,
it depends.
And the parents will say, "This is not your business. This is not your family. Stay out of my family." It's very, very challenging. So I think that's a great point.
Wow, you stumbled into some situations, didn't you?
I feel like lots of responsibilities are on me.
Yeah.
Sure. But in the future, it's
and my
just working
supervisors are so busy; they can't help me every day.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Sure. Well, that's good. That'll shape you in the.
Be independent.
Good.
Any other points like that?
Sometimes I have great pressure to also, I think, legitimize my identity, because.
You mean in terms of with the mothers, you're young, maybe you don't get the respect, or you don't have the resume that they would expect out of you?
But also for myself, because I'm always shuttling among different countries and cultures, China, New Zealand, and
you're not real Chinese.
Yeah, so even for myself, I'm multicultural, multilingual. And yesterday, when I was trying to run to the base, you saw that, right? I heard the coach giving me the order "Pao." I heard it as "Pao." In my sense, it's a Chinese word, "Pao." It means run. Run.
Oh, he was saying foul.
Yeah, in Chinese, the pronunciation means run, to run, action.
In English,
It's like kiss the teacher.
in English baseball,
and
it
I
means foul.
thought, oh, my coach learned Chinese. He's
Yeah.
speaking Chinese to me. And he said, pow, pow, pow. And I run. But you know what, Paul? It was a Korean word.
No, it's in English. It's
Yeah.
foul ball.
Yeah,
it was
you
out.
know.
Yeah.
Actually, it's an English word.
I was wondering why you were running so fast. It's a
I
foul.
asked the coach later, and he said it's power. It means out of the line.
Yeah.
You shouldn't run.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
exact opposite of foul.
But when he told me power, because in Korean pronunciation, it's the same pronunciation as power.
Oh, that's
P-O-W,
hilarious.
Power in English, and so at that time I thought, oh, power. It means I use a lot of power to hit ball.
Yeah.
Okay,
More power
that means
running.
out of the line. Okay. But after I came home, I searched on internet, and then finally, it's the English word.
Yeah.
F-O-U-L, foul.
There you go.
Means out of the line.
Foul
Oh.
ball. Hey.
There you go. I think we get that. I had it last week at school, and the student told me, hometown, maybe, and I was like, and she said, you don't know that? She said it's English, and I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
what are you talking? That's not an English word. What does it mean?
Homtur?
Home training.
Oh, homtur.
Home training is homtur?
Yeah.
That's not English. That's Konglish, and foreigners don't understand these words that you guys make these mixing words, and you think that you don't know, but you know it's not Korean.
Oh, yeah.
So you think it's English or mixing to English, but
Or he speak Chinese.
Yeah.
if you speak those words in Canada, nobody's going to understand what they're not English words.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't mix the home training. So yeah, I think we get that sometimes too, where I'm like, what the heck does that? Was that English or Korean or Chinese? And they're like, what do you mean?
But even
Quite
Not
confusing.
English. Yeah.
even our wives probably can't keep up with all the new portmanteaus that are developed here daily.
The universities though, like every week there's 3 new words to use. You guys,
Yeah.
it changed too fast.
The weekend dramas just dump a whole new list of
Yeah.
vocabulary.
Even for
You gotta.
researcher, it's still confusing.
Are you? Oh, I get. What language are you conducting your research in with the kids?
Actually, I do translanguaging. I allow the kids to use the languages they feel comfortable with.
Okay.
So sometimes they can transform from one to another. Like they can use Chinese and English and Korean if they want. And you know, for Korean, there are for every language there are standard and the satuli we call dialect or
Yeah.
accents. So they can use whatever they want.
Okay.
And to do that, before every interview, I have to review the Korean words, the special words like satuli, and many professional words in Korean, in English, in Chinese, and to make sure that I can get to know that. And for some case, if really I can't get to know that word, we have to use papago
Yeah.
for the special word.
Yeah.
So that's how I do the.
So you're pretty comfortable and confident in Korean then? What if the kid just
I-
in Korean? Hey, slow down.
You're recording everything.
Actually, I just
Yeah.
do interviews with children who can communicate in Chinese for daily life. Because I want to know how these children successfully get their heritage language.
I think you would probably agree. When you're speaking English, when you're speaking Chinese, when you're speaking Korean, do you feel you have not different personalities, but you express yourself differently in different languages? This is something over the years that adults have told me. Anyways, they feel like they're, especially when they're getting the new language, your vocabulary is limited, your experience is limited in the language, and
You
when
can't
you're
respond quickly to others.
that too, but
many
you're,
languages are in your mind.
yeah, just you're a different. Even I think when I'm speaking Korean, I'm I don't know,
You're not
more
as
serious.
smart or as
Oh, that
smart
too,
as you
yeah.
should be.
That too, but your person. I
But
don't
even
wanna say your
when I'm
personality
speaking
is-
Korean, like I think I I think in English I'm confident, but in Korean I fake my confidence more because I know I'll be
Yeah,
perceived differently.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm not going to sit here and say my Korean's terrible, but it's not amazing. But if I project confidence, I find the listener thinks it's their problem, not my problem. But if I do the then they think 외국인 한국말 못해, and they think it's my problem. And my wife tells me all the time, she's like, why do you think you're so damn confident when you're so bad? And it is, I don't think I fake it. I'm like that in English, but I do project maybe more so that I don't want people thinking it's my insecurity or
you are using
my
your
lack of
second
language.
language to talking with native speakers. Be confident.
So that's what I do, but people, your Korean's kind of funny, but why are you so confident in your Korean?
But I found that if you are really trying hard to use Korean, even though your Korean is not perfect, but if Korean people, they think you are trying hard to use their language, they will forgive that. They will embrace you.
Yeah.
How did you learn Korean?
Because I joined the CPIC program, so we had 1 or 2 months training for that, and after that I learned daily communication in Korea context, and I also learned by myself and get the topic level 2 certificate by the text test.
When you did the 2-month course, that's just textbook based, teacher standing in front of the class?
It's based on textbook, but there are different types of textbooks. So we use the textbooks for communication.
Okay.
And there are more communication in our class.
So I have a question about this acquisition and mothers. How many or what percentage would you say of the Chinese mothers work?
Almost
many,
90%.
90% work?
90% of work.
Wow. Okay. Because we have friends from many countries, many nationalities, many backgrounds, and we come across kids that are fluent in English or their mother tongue, and some kids that have very, very limited abilities to speak. And I think we can assume why, but I'm just wondering from your background, when we have people that we know where their kids don't speak one of the parents' languages, what would that be attributed to? I mean, there's a lot of factors, but I'm just curious. Your initial thought would be what? So if the mothers
just
were
sharing the preliminary findings.
Oh, good.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
What I think now. It doesn't mean the final result.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
We're gonna scratch out the outliers.
Things like affection, because if the mothers their Korean languages are not good enough to communicate with the children, and the children know that. So if the children want to communicate with the mothers, they have to learn how to use Chinese language to communicate. But if the mothers sometimes they are good at Korean and the children know that, so why should I learn another language? I just use Korean. This is some case.
So what about in terms of working mothers? So for instance, in my house, we both work, but at home, I speak English to them, my wife speaks Korean to them. Their daily life is obviously in Korean. Their Korean is probably much better, or it is much better. But I think my kids are, like me, very confident in English, even though lots of things they say are funny, grammatically incorrect. The irregular verbs, they just can't seem to figure out the irregular verbs in the past tense. And they add ed to every word.
I eated my dinner.
Yeah.
But that's the...
You gave-did me the... Gave-did you? What? So, but we're both around them quite a bit, and I think that has an influence, but we've never specifically taught them how to speak English, or whatever. We just do it. They've never gone to the English hagwon. In their kindergartens, sure, they had some English exposure, but I think like me growing up, I went to French kindergarten and French elementary school and French middle school, and I don't remember really learning French. It just kind of happened. And I think for them it's kind of just happening. But in some cases where both parents work and they come home a little bit later and they don't get that contact time, I think the second language struggles because they get their Korean at school anyways. But if the mom's working and they don't have a lot of time, do you find a lot of different versions of Chinese and like, wow, he's really good? Well, mom's a stay-at-home mom and she's with him all the time. Or when he was young, the first 3 years, mom was at home all the time, so the Chinese is really good. Or mom was working, she's a banker, and she's never at home, and the Chinese isn't so good. Do you find any connection
there are
or
many
relation?
different cases, like for, it really depends on how the mothers think about it. Because for some mothers, they think, oh, why should just mother do this thing? Like, I should have my individual time after work at home.
I never thought about it. I've done this whole interview under the assumption that all the moms want to teach their kids Chinese. Which it probably isn't true. Yeah.
Not all. Not all.
All right.
Yes, some
2 hours
mothers
in.
they want, but they are so tired after work.
Sure, yeah.
You know, after work we just wanna lie on the bed.
Yeah.
We don't wanna do the dinner, right?
Yeah.
For some mothers, they also have wanna have their individual time for
Whatever their hobbies.
Yeah, whatever their hobbies. So they're also struggling with whether they should do more like practice with children to learn Chinese or not. Some mothers they keep doing that, but some mothers don't. And for mothers who keeps doing this, their children, yes, they do learn more Chinese. Like the mother, every day the mother teaches the child one Chinese characters, and year by year, the children's Chinese characters, like the snowboard, she learns a lot of Chinese. But will the child really want to use Chinese, and will their Chinese language develop more in the future? It really depends on more other factors, like in the society, how their peers treat her, how they treat them, and how their teachers, how other people will treat them by speaking Chinese. This doesn't just depend on how the mother do.
Yeah.
Right.
What opportunities do they have in their everyday life to even use
And
it?
I remember when we were younger and guys would say like, we have rules, only English in the house. And I'm like, holy shit, like that's pretty serious. Like my kids, I mean, I think most of the time they speak Korean to my wife. Sometimes they might say something if they're, like you say, they don't think about it and they just say in English and my wife will answer. But I say to Koreans like, why don't you just speak English to your kids? Instead of sending them to Hagwon, just from when they're young, then they don't know, like mom speaks English to me. But as soon as they know they speak Korean, they'll never answer in English. And they go, Mom, why are you speaking English to me? And they just want to communicate in Korean. And then the mom gives up and says, well, yeah, they're not going to speak English to me. But because you can't test for the outcomes, if they spoke English all the time to their kids, all the instructions, directions in English, they acquire that and they subconsciously learn the patterns, the syntax, the sentence structure just from listening to their moms in English. But the moms can't measure that when they're 3 years old. Are you getting this? Are you understanding the English sentence structure? It's not working. No, but when they're 10 years old and they have amazing syntax, grammar, whatever, it's because from listening to mom for so many years.
There's the two big schools of thought, right? Like one parent, one language, or one place, one language. We talked about this briefly yesterday, where I think most of the Chinese families would probably be obviously the one parent, one language. The father's going to speak. Although, dude, I think I know another family where mom's Japanese, dad's Korean, and they might both speak Japanese to the kids.
Sometimes I joke that I wish my wife was Chinese, because then it would be, you know, you learn English from dad, Chinese from mom, and then Korean at school, and you'll pick them all up flawlessly because it's just natural. When you go to school, speak Korean. When you talk to mom, speak Chinese. When you talk to dad, speak English, and it just happens naturally. But yeah, I've tried. I spent a few years teaching my kids French, but having because I just feel that they don't have to try for English and Korean. They don't try. It's just natural, and I feel they should have more and have that challenge. Koreans go to English Hagwon every day. My kids don't do that. Well, they should get pushed a little more, but without the surrounding environment of speaking French, they don't. Again, in French, they're more like the book smart, where they could do the worksheet, but talking is very challenging. Do you find with the Chinese that our kids in
probably
English,
the same?
Our kids in English, I would say, are probably much better at speaking than they would be at composition and writing and whatever. With the Chinese, do you think that they would lack sufficiency in writing?
Yeah.
And so, like, their speaking is good, and then
Yeah, because you know, for Chinese characters, it's different from alphabet-based language.
Yeah.
Even though you know how to pronounce it, you don't know how to write. When you see the word, you don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, I would say this is quite a big challenge for these kids to learn Chinese.
And moms to teach it, who aren't teachers or haven't been
or
educated.
dads to teach it.
You have to teach the child one character every day.
Yeah.
My friends, I think they say their friends laugh because they get 2 wrong on the English test. But we don't do that English at home.
Huge burden
we just talk.
for your mind, for
and
children's
the
mind.
Koreans can get Baekjoms because they go to Hagwon and they study what the test is at school. But my kids don't do that. And they're like, but your kids are really good at English. But they don't do a lot of composition and writing. They read, but they don't do a lot of spelling and grammar and stuff. So they get a couple wrong. And my wife's like, why are they getting wrong on English? Yobo, they're not studying this. It's okay to get a few wrong on this because that's not what they don't do that.
And also, dude, look at the English education my wife would have had growing up. Where in grade 6, maybe she knew the alphabet. You know, middle school, studied a little more. When she went to Canada, I think she said before getting on the airplane, like she was comfortable saying like yes and no. When she got to Canada, it was like yes, no, and developed her skills there. Whatever language or level our kids are at now, like in any subject, they can learn it later. Everyone's in a big goddamn rush here to fit. I gotta learn 30,000 vocabularies by middle school. I need to finish the university math by middle school. Like, just everyone needs to relax. Everyone's in a big goddamn rush over here. Just take a log off the fire and let's enjoy a little more.
How many levels of the Hanja is there?
8. 9.
Level of Hanja? You mean in Korean Hanja?
Yeah.
I think there are different types of how to...
But I mean, if my kids are at level 6 or level 5, so they've come all the way down, I'm curious if you have any idea what the average Chinese...
you mean in China?
Heritage? No, in
Korea.
Multicultural Chinese child would have... Is it much easier for them?
No.
Or do they have to learn it the same way? Like,
no, even for native Chinese speakers, when we were at elementary schools, we have to copy writing every day to learn these characters.
Huh. Like, we have the posters in my house, and I just get a headache when I look at it. Like, and my kids know like this. Like, holy shit, you guys are same. I think they're amazing at Chinese reading. They can't say anything, but they can recognize the characters. But I'm not.
But nowadays,
it's discouraging to think of.
It's the typing era, so it doesn't mean you have to write it down. As long as you can recognize the word, it's okay now. Yeah.
Because you don't go through the writing process. Interesting.
Yeah, we type.
That must have a major impact on students' cognitive ability. From your generation that had to practice writing them all out.
But it's good for you to practice in Chinese characters because it will activate your different parts of the brain.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So the students now must be much less active cognitively, not having to write them all out. Huh.
Crazy.
Interesting.
Crazy. Nate, you got anything else?
No, it's just really interesting to talk about. No.
I got a couple quick ones here before we wrap up. A couple fast questions for you. Just a little lightning round at the end. You ready? Some rapid fire questions. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee or coffee? Your favorite place in New Zealand?
Queenstown.
Very nice. Favorite place in Korea?
Ulsan.
Oh, see, you were disappointed with the Shigol at the start. Now you're like, it's best city in the country.
A language other than Chinese, Korean, or English that you would like to learn?
Maybe Maori. Maori language.
Maori. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
A book you would like to recommend?
Book. Pachinko.
Oh, that's a good one. I haven't. I know what it's about. I haven't read it or seen the. There's a TV show or a movie as well.
Yeah.
Most rewarding moment so far as a researcher?
Most rewarding.
Anything?
I'm trying to find some.
Still looking?
Yeah, still like it. Because, as a for PhD journey, it's like a marathon.
Sure.
Sometimes you don't know if you are enough or not. You can't get a quick reward at the moment. Yeah, I'm trying to find.
For a young generation, that's nearly impossible, huh?
Yeah.
Biggest misconception about bilingual children?
Big what?
Big misconception
Misconception.
about bilingual children.
People may think that multilingual, the ability of multilingualism may be good kind of capital for children, but for children who don't wanna get more steps in academic journey, or they would just wanna, be a soldier or have a restaurant or run a restaurant or do other things. Multilingualism doesn't mean much to them, but maybe be burden because they have to learn so many things. So I think that may be the biggest misconception of the ability of multilingualism.
Yeah. If you weren't a researcher, what would you be?
If I'm not a researcher, I can choose.
Mukbang.
Maori village tour guide for Chinese.
Maybe I like doing research because I'm really into exploring the world.
Very cool. Awesome. So you found your calling. There's no option B. You found what you like and you're doing it. That's wonderful.
Or in other ways, exploring the world.
Awesome. Very cool. Anything else you want to add before we shut it down? Any final words?
I think language is not just language. It's quite intertwined with identity, sense of belonging. So I think it's quite important for us to support children to find a sense of belonging in our community, not just force them to be assimilated.
Awesome. Wise words from Ting Hu. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
I hope
Thank
you
you for
guys
having me today.
enjoyed. We'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.